Hello and welcome to the Walt Disney World Resorts and Planning topic for the Butler Travel Agency. Today we're going to talk about why you should choose us as a travel agency, what kind of benefits, and this is kind of a plain Jane presentation. So this really goes over kind of your options and some insights with all these. So let's go to the next slide. Here's some type of resorts we're going to cover today. There's value resorts, and those are more of the inexpensive resorts. We have moderate, which is kind of the in-between, and deluxe, which is very expensive. So when I say inexpensive, sometimes these value resorts can run, I would say I've seen them run from $120 to $199 a night, and it all depends on when you book. So if you're booking for, let's say, December, then your prices are generally going to be more than maybe February. So most of the time, anytime where there's any sort of festivals in the park or any sort of events, like the Run Disney event, or even, holiday times like Christmas, things like that they have for 4th of July, it's always going to be a higher resort cost. But here are three, and we're going to talk about them today. Here's three value resorts. There's Pop Century, Art of Animation, and All Stars Movies, Music, and Sports. And the Pop Century and the Art of Animation and All Stars Movie and Resorts, Music and Sports, these are generally the inexpensive resorts. So these are ones where, for example, Art of Animation is all about animation. Pop Century is where they have these big figurines outside, and so is the All Stars Movies, Music, and Sports. So if you ever seen those in the Disney travel magazines or anything like that, they have the huge outdoor things such as the dogs from 101 Dalmatians or something like that. The moderate resorts, so they have the Caribbean Beach Resort, the Coronado Springs Resort, and the Port Orleans French Quarter and Riverside Resort. So the Caribbean Beach is very detailed into the Caribbean. The color schemes for these resorts are awesome. So the Caribbean Beach has kind of like a little beach and hammocks, and everything's like, it feels like you're in the Caribbean, and it's a huge resort. So even so much so that there's bus stops in multiple areas of the resort. Coronado Springs is a Mexico, South America type resort. So it's got that kind of feel, that color. They do offer some sort of desserts in that way, or food. So because you do have places to eat also in these resorts, so that kind of tells you something about that. And then the Port Orleans French Quarter and Riverside are based on New Orleans. So you have that festive Mardi Gras type feel, and kind of that, I don't really know how to describe it. It's kind of like that royalty feel. It's like very nice, very classy. And then they have just wonderful rooms, especially if you're staying at Riverside and you love Disney, then I would recommend staying at the Royal Rooms, which has Aladdin's Magic Carpet and all these Disney themed ideas. Then we have Deluxe Resorts, and these are a step up and definitely more in price. These Deluxe Resorts you're looking at, for, I would say, I know that in the last one, the Royal Rooms, I've paid as much as $350 a night. And the Deluxe Resorts are more. So there's Yacht and Beach Club, Wilderness Lodge, which these are more than, the Yacht and Beach Club, it has like a beach theme. The Wilderness Lodge is kind of like a forest theme. So it's got that feel to it. Swan and Dolphin, you've seen also that's kind of green. It has the pyramid looking shape in the background. The Polynesian Village is based on Pacific Islander, I would say. It's got kind of that Hawaiian feel to it. The Grand Floridian Resort and Spa is very fancy, very elegant. And these are the commercials where Cinderella walks up the castle and there's a little kid. That's a very nice, expensive resort. And it also has a restaurant called Prince Albert. I believe it's Prince Albert, and I've never went to it, but I believe it's very expensive per plate, for sure, per person. The Disney's Riviera Resort, that's kind of a new resort, and it's more of Spanish theme, even though the reviews on it, they just don't say it's as much Spanish theme. We have the Contemporary Resort, which you've also seen the monorail run through. That's another kind of weird concrete shaped building that you probably see on TV. Deluxe Resorts, the Boardwalk Inn, and the Animal Kingdom Lodge. Animal Kingdom has safari animals and things like that. So let's talk about what's inside a Disney resort. So there's places to eat, quick service, so you can quickly go for breakfast, which I should mention is not included. That's something you have to pay extra for. You have to pay per plate or per food. So the quick service, you can get anything from eggs, bacon, hamburgers, anything you want. And there's dining restaurants. So there's more fancy restaurants. You can kind of sit down in most of these resorts. Unlimited beverages if you purchase a mug during resort stay. So you can buy this mug, and I forget how much it is, but basically it's unlimited beverages. So they have coffee, they have tea, they have hot chocolate, they have sodas. So it's unlimited. Gift shops, of course, you got to be there for the gift shops, and the scenery, which is beautiful at all the resorts, I do have to say. I wouldn't say so much in the value, but I would say the other ones for sure. Benefits to staying at a Disney resort. You have free park transportation. So they either have a bus, a gondola, or there's a third one. My mind's blank this morning. But basically, you have free access to the park by bus or stuff like that. You still have to pay. And again, if you pay for a resort, your park ticket's not included in that price unless you get a package through us. So you get free park transportation to catch a bus, and kind of that specific bus is for the Animal Kingdom or Magic Kingdom or Epcot. So there's different buses that will take you different places, and it's just from your resort to there and back to the resort. And there's a side on kind of like the Magic Kingdom where you specifically stand to catch the bus, and it's for the resort that you're at. So that's one thing to think about. I'm going to skip one, the free transportation to and from parks. That basically is, free transportation to and from the airport. So that basically is from A to B to the airport. And then that one goes to multiple resorts. Whereas a free park transportation just goes from the resort to the park. Also, you get reservations, quicker reservations. So as far as your fast passes, you're allowed into that queue a whole lot quicker than what those are that just gets a park ticket. And then peace of mind. You basically get a luggage tag. So if you're catching a flight, you basically just drop off your luggage at the counter if you pay for a check bag, and then that bag, when it gets to Florida at your Disney World destination, then Disney picks up that bag for you and puts in your hotel room. So you never have to worry about picking up your bag or anything like that. That's all included. So it's just peace of mind. Just basically not having to worry, not having to stress about your bag, just enjoying it as it is. And kind of don't have to worry about parking, don't have to worry about waiting through lines, stuff like that. Here's what we offer. We offer step-by-step guidance. So this basically is where we help you plan it step by step. So if you've never been before, this is very helpful. And of course, if you've already been and you want to do the step by step, that's fine. Basically, step by step is where we ask you, how many children do you have? What are they afraid of? What do you think they would like to do? What kind of characters do you think they would like to see? And kind of plan out each day in accordance. So that way you don't really miss anything on your vacation. And then we have attraction planning. So we help you based on that knowledge, some attractions, some things. If you have multiple people in your party, if you might want to split that. And so we help you plan those attractions, what you kind of need a fast pass for. Dining recommendations, for sure. We kind of help you determine what you would like to do, kind of your price range, because some places in the park's more expensive than others, and kind of get all this down into basically a system. Email reminders, that's great. We send you an email reminder when you need to contact us to be able to do this fast pass, kind of through a Zoom meeting or through some other thing like Skype that way we can help you basically find those recommendations. The reservation system, again, we help you plan all that. If you need help on that reservation system, we can help you. Email reminders, this basically sends you those email reminders all the time. And kind of helps you also on the day of your trip, kind of break it down to this is day 1, this is day 2, this is day 3, this is when you need to catch your plane, those type of things. So that way you have a layout for all the days. One-on-one support, same thing as I was saying with the anything like that, or if you have any problems at the resort or anything like that, just let us know or we can make recommendations. Peace of mind planning, that all fits into this. Basically, instead of having to do the stress of trying to plan for things, trying to get your fast passes, trying to get a layout of time, just all those stresses before your vacation, then take your vacation and stress to make those, that you don't have to fool with. Basically, there's no extra cost to use me as a Disney planner or anything like that. That's all based on the commission from your trip, so you don't have to pay extra for my services unless you cancel. So the peace of mind planning is basically where I do all the hard work for you, and then I'll just give it to you. And then you look at it and say, yep, this works for me. And then you get to go enjoy your vacation. It's wonderful. And that's whether, and that's basically just the Disney package. So it's something wonderful that we do have to offer, and check it out. We have great podcasts on iHeartRadio now under the Butler Travel Agency, and today specifically on the Sunday this presentation is released. Miguel's actually the co-host, so we do talk about some favorite rides or some things to look for if it's your first time and things like that. So it's a wonderful podcast. Check it out on iHeartRadio. You can also check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/Butler Travel Agency, or you can contact us on YouTube, leave a comment, or on the Facebook live stream. So thank you so much for listening and tuning in to this sort of, it's not really a podcast, but a presentation. And then next week we will do, we'll basically break it down some more. So this was basically an overview, but check back with us next week for a complete series of resorts. So thank you so much for listening, and we look forward to seeing you next week.